Welcome back. Episode 81, the Anquan Bolden episode, the Purple Pain podcast. Not Purple, it's Purple Pain today for obvious reasons. But welcome back. Thank you for all coming through. I'm Simply AS10. That is Sudden Death. And that right there is keeping it real.
What's good?
We threw something on you. But welcome back. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. And let's get right into it. Why not?
Yeah. Like my guy Alex said, this episode 81 of the Purple Rain Podcast. If you want to follow Alex on Twitter or Instagram, you can follow him right here on Twitter at simplyas10prod, on Instagram at simplyas10.prod, and you can follow me, Sudden Death, on Twitter or Instagram at just Sudden Death. Keeping it real, where can they find you though?
You can find me obviously on my YouTube channel, Keeping It Real, but you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram. It's Keeping It Real 721.
Okay, got you. And thank you so much for coming through this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast. We know that, probably would have been cooler to come through on an episode where, we're riding high off of victory and things like that. But this is how things go during the course of a football season. So it is what it is. We're here to talk about it regardless. When you see the Rain Gang is in here in full effect already tonight. Let me see who's in here so far. Daquan Jones in the house. What's up, Daquan? Robbie Redifer says Flacco. Flacco just went to the Jets, in case you guys didn't know. J Prime 235 in the building says down but not out. I like the energy. Darius the official says what's up, Rain Gang? What's up, Darius? Jabari Cruz, Ellis, Flacco, Cam Neal giving a shout out to Keeping It Real. What's up, Cam Neal? Thank you for joining the stream tonight. Chris Reed in the building. Jabari Cruz. Yep, I already called out Jabari. Jason Moyer. Yolanda is in the house tonight. Says hi, PRP. Let's keep our heads up. We have work to do. Hopefully, we will get it done. Thank you, Yolanda, for the words of encouragement there. We need it now more than ever. All Day Esco in the building. What's up, Esco? How you doing? Tyler in the house too. Says thank God for the bye. Yeah, absolutely, Indeed. Man. Thank God for the bye. So let's not mince words anymore, guys. We're gonna get right into it. This is a Monday episode, so of course we do have Monday Night Football right after this. So we're not gonna hold you guys for too long. But if you're not even listening to this live and you're listening after the fact and part of the hashtag replay gang, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys for coming through. And make sure you leave a comment down below on this video, hashtag replay game, because we love seeing you guys in the chat as well, if you can't make the live shows. But yeah, also like this video. Before we get into anything else, make sure you like this video. Also subscribe to the channel as well. And make sure you subscribe to Keeping It Real's channel too, because he is our special guest. We want to make sure we show him some love from the Rain Gang. Devon Johnson in the house. What's up, Devon? Thank you for joining the stream tonight, man. All right. So like I said, let's not mince words anymore. We knew that this day would come where the Ravens would lose another football game. The Ravens did fall to the Bengals 41-17 yesterday on CBS, 1:00. It was bad. It was bad.
It was a shit show. You can say it.
It was.
Yeah. It was terrible.
Yeah. I think we played like a team that was ready to go into their bye week. They're a little bit tired. Injuries are kind of piling up left and right. It just wasn't good. It wasn't good out there. And we got exposed in multiple different areas where I feel like we should not have been exposed at. One definitely being in the secondary. I didn't think that Jamar Chase and the tight end would get off on us that bad, but it was just an overall disgusting performance, like my guy King says here. The tackling was atrocious, especially on that one play, Jamar Chase. You guys all know what I'm talking about. It was horrible. But what were you guys' initial reactions to that loss yesterday? How are you guys feeling about it?
It wasn't more that we were ready for the bye. It's more that we thought we had a win in the bag. I mean, that team didn't look like they actually wanted to play. I lost a lot of respect for a certain player on the team because he just stopped playing in the fourth quarter. He actually went out of bounds on a 4th and 15. That's being Tyson Williams. I see why he was getting inactive. I don't know if you guys saw that too. He don't do that. He just quit. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we trade him. I actually wouldn't be upset if we did because that's just not a Raven. But just the line on both offensive and defensive. I don't know what we do in the offseason, but a lot has to go to those two. Offensive line, defensive line. I'll get into it more, but that's just like initial reactions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta agree with Tyson Williams. We were already getting beat. The game was over, but effort matters. The fact on that 4th down, he just went out of bounds. That's not how we play here. That's not a Ravens type of move right there. Even if the game's over, you still got to show effort. And it just goes to show exactly why they're not really playing him that much. We already know the issues he kind of has with the fumbling issues, which on the Ravens, that's a big no-no if you're a running back. And, he doesn't really work well in our passing game and he doesn't block well, something the other backs can give us. But the fact that he just gave up on that play, That speaks volumes for his time here, man. I don't know about Tyson, but more so, I was just disappointed in the defense as a whole. That front seven, they did not perform their very best. They actually had trouble getting to Burrow, which, a lot of quarterbacks, well, not a lot of quarterbacks, but a lot of teams have had some trouble getting to Burrow because he's done a great job dodging pressure for the most part, though he has been sacked quite a lot of times. But he's done a great job dodging pressure, and he did a fantastic job dodging our guys. Odafe Owe had him at one point, and he kind of sidestepped this dude for a big play. So I got to give credit to Burrow. But before I even look at that front seven, the secondary, I do not know what that was. That secondary, that was probably one of their worst games they've had as a unit. It just seems like they weren't in sync. The touchdown to Uzama, he was wide open. On that play, there were 4 Ravens defender on Tyler Boyd. I understand Boyd has burnt us in the past, but since when was he that much of a threat that we would put 4 players on him and leave a tight end wide open?
Right.
Not to mention the issues we're having right now. The team can't tackle. That's the number one. If we were to point to one issue, it's the tackling. So overall, I'm just kind of disappointed in the defensive performance all around.
Yeah, man, absolutely. We do have a super chat donation coming in, so we'll get to that really quick. Thank you so much, Spencer, for making it rain here on episode 81 of the Purple Rain podcast. We appreciate you so much. Says, until we get a better running back and some O-line depth, we will have a rough season, even if we pull out wins. Every game more so than not will be struggles. And yeah, I mean, you think about it, man, this team, I mean, we're 5-2, but we could very well be 4-3 right now, or even worse. I mean, who knows? Because we had a lot of close games. Say we don't get the opportunity to kick that 67-yard field goal. Say we don't get that fumble against KC. I mean, we're in a whole different spot right now in terms of like where we rank and where we stand in the conference. So yeah, I mean, until we get a better running back and some O-line depth, we will have a rough season. I understand that for sure. The O-line depth is definitely rearing its ugly head right now because, I mean, guys are just going down left and right. At this point, the tackle position we are just begging for spare change at this point. We're begging for spare change. We're bringing defensive tackles and teaching them to play offensive tackle and, this and that. So it's not looking good on that front. But what do you guys think about that? Running back and O-line depth, the biggest problems?
There's nothing we can do about either of them, unfortunately. I mean, we were dealt a terrible hand of cards, and we're trying to do the best we can with it. I mean, there's a reason why there's been no trades for linemen or running backs because nobody has them. Marlon Mack, can we please call the Colts, please? Yeah, there's nobody out there that will give up an offensive lineman. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. It's not gonna get better. It'll probably get worse. And then Tyree Phillips came in yesterday and looked like it was his first game ever playing football. He was going to beat every single rep. It wasn't good. And now Makari's probably out for a couple of weeks, probably on the IR. So we're in a pretty bad spot. Just going to be honest, pretty bad spot.
Yeah, I got to agree with Simply here. It was already tough losing all of our backs, but I'll definitely say the one positive that's been there from the backs has been Latavius Murray because he's been the only one to actually get success in the running game. Le'Veon hasn't really done much. Devontae haven't really done much. Then again, it feels like we're not utilizing them to their strengths, but you got to do what you can. But Latavius has had some success. Other than that, we're just dealing with the cards we have right here. As for the offensive line, at this point in time, you're not going to get a trade for an offensive lineman to truly fix and impact this line. We're going to have to deal with what we're dealing with here. And like Simply said, when Phillips came in, he just looked like he's never played a game of football before. And it showed that he definitely missed time. The minute I saw Makari go down, because the offensive line for the most part wasn't playing their very best in the game up to that point. But once Makari went down, I already knew we were in trouble. Because all of a sudden, the protection for Lamar Jackson just went down tremendously. And now you have him in the pocket. It's collapsing. There's no passing lanes. And you're just seeing passes get batted down, and he's just getting sacked. So at this point, hopefully Makari comes back. And at this point forward, you just got to move on with what you got here.
Right. Exactly. Not only the fact that there were no passing lanes, is that a lot of the times where he was getting pressured, he was really just throwing off of his back foot, just trying to make something happen, and
jumping
you
while
can't,
throwing.
Yeah.
Right. And you can't have that happen. We know Mr. Lamar Jackson is Mr. Make It Happen. That's what he is. But even he is going to have his limitations when you have an offensive line that's struggling the way that they were yesterday. And hopefully that's not the case going forward. But yeah, man, the depth on this team right now is really looking like, I remember what they were saying last week heading into this game. The Ravens are just 1 or 2 injuries away from really being crippled, from really, going downhill, that sort of thing. And, that may not be that may not be false, because like we saw what happened with Patrick McCarry, like you said, keeping it real, like Patrick McCarry went down and then the rest of the offensive line was just crap for the rest of the game. And like we couldn't get anything going really on offense. So, you kind of are in the NFL. You are literally just 1 injury away from being, making the difference between being a good team and a mediocre or average team. So, but yeah, thank you so much, Spencer, for your super chat donation. Now, I just wanted to get into some team stats from yesterday, just comparing what we did on paper to what the Bengals did on paper. So you look at first downs. We beat them in first downs. We had 20 first downs to their 19. Now, a lot of that is because they had some big plays, and their drives ended very quickly. Of course, the CJ Uzama one, and then the 81-yard touchdown to Jamar Chase. Those 2 plays definitely swayed that for sure. But then you also had the rushing yards. So we actually had 24 carries for 115 yards and a touchdown. The Bengals had 24 carries as well for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then you look at passing yards. The Ravens only threw for 278. The Bengals threw for over 400 with 409 passing yards. So that secondary of the Baltimore Ravens was just getting absolutely decimated, obliterated all game, which was, something that you hate to see. Lamar Jackson was sacked 5 times for a total loss of 18 yards. And then Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow was sacked only 1 time, losing 7. So we weren't really getting to Burrow. And I remember you said that a couple minutes ago, keeping it real, we weren't really getting to Burrow. But I think that Joe Burrow just really did an awesome job, like an excellent job at being a very timely quarterback, getting the ball out on time, because the pressure was there. The pressure was there. You could see guys like Houston. You could see guys like, Calais Campbell even getting free up the middle. But Burrow was just, he really did stand tall in the pocket, and he delivered those throws exactly to where they needed to be on time. So for that, hats goes off to Joe Burrow, and it's going to be quite the battle between the Ravens and the Bengals for the next, decade here. So it's, hats off to Joe Burrow. But did you guys notice that too? Like, he was very, very on time. There'll be times where the pocket was completely muddy. There's people on his left, there's people behind him, and he just makes the right read, makes the right throw. It's on point. And yeah, Joe Burrow's a problem, is he not?
Oh yeah, he's definitely a problem. That what was it? That 55-yard touchdown that he threw down the field, man. That was the best throw he made the entire game, and pressure was coming after him, but he just stood up in the pocket, man, and made that play. So Burrow's going to be a problem. We already knew the talent was there. The question with Cincinnati came to 2 things. One, were the pieces that they fixed on this new defense, would they step up and play well? They have. And number 2, can this offensive line protect Burrow enough for him to make plays to his guys? They've done a well job, so got to give credit to them.
Yeah. I thought their offensive tackles actually did a pretty good job at not allowing pressure off the edge so much. Like, I think they were doing a really good job at washing out those guys like Odafe Owe and Houston from time to time, making sure that they weren't really they never got too close to Burrow, and that's how Burrow was able to comfortably step up, climb the pocket, and make some of those throws that he did. But yeah, like you said, man, Joe Burrow is a problem. Now let me just go ahead and keep going with these team stats here. So total yards, the Bengals had over 500, ending up with 520. The Ravens had 393. Both teams had a fumble. Neither teams lost those fumbles. The Bengals had 1 turnover. The Baltimore Ravens did not have any turnovers. Let's see. So the third down conversions. This one is very important too. The Ravens were 5 for 16 on third down, and the Bengals were 4 for 13 on third down. So we were pretty good at getting off the field when it came to a third down conversions for them. But again, we were just giving up those big plays. And what do we say coming into this week, man? We have to limit those big plays from Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase. And that's exactly the opposite of what we did there. And then you look at time of possession as well. We also beat them in time of possession, 31 minutes and 49 seconds to 28 minutes and 11 seconds. But again, those big plays. This game, the stats that I'm telling you right here, it all comes down to this. The Ravens were not able to shut down Jamar Chase. And like I said, going into this week, we talked about how Marlon Humphrey would probably be the matchup on him. That's kind of what I want to bring up now. Like, how are we feeling about All-Pro Marlo after that performance against the rookie Jamar Chase?
Nowhere near All-Pro. Nowhere near.
Not playing like
ever
that.
since that contract, he's been playing suspect. I'm just gonna. I got called a fake fan for saying it, for showing how bad he was yesterday, but he was terrible. Like, I don't know who that was. Was that like Sharice Wright as Marlon Humphrey? Like that.
Right.
Like, it was actually embarrassing. Just anything. Every route he was getting cooked, and he made one good play, and then the fumble got taken away. And he had the interception, which kind of like didn't really do much either. Like, what? I actually have to bring that up. Why are you celebrating after this? Like the
I didn't understand
that really
They were
pissed me
taking
off.
pictures. We were down 10. Like, we're down 2 possessions. Like,
Yeah, we're trailing and we're celebrating for no reason.
yeah, for no
That
reason.
and that comes down to another point, like coaching. The coaching's been bad. Like, linebacker wise, we've actually regressed from our linebacker wise. It feels like secondary. Thankfully Averett showed up. That was a good. He was doing his thing. You're picking on him, but this coaching to defensive Wink. I don't know what Wink was on yesterday. I don't know what was going on.
I don't know.
We'll talk more about that. But big shout out to Darius, the official, here making it rain on episode 81 of the Purple Rain podcast. Guys, like the video. Like the video if you're just getting in here. Also, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Darius says, when was the last time we gave up 200 yards to a wide receiver? I'm not sure. When was the last time we gave up 200 to a receiver? Anybody know?
Probably like Antonio Brown or AJ Green. Honestly,
I'm thinking it's probably Antonio Brown. You remember when Ben Roethlisberger had 500 yards since like 2017, and AB was killing us the whole game? That might be the last time.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Let's see. Oh, Karan Cruz says Odell. What was that, back in 2016? I believe
that was 16 against the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants.
I think yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, man, it just was not a good performance. Talking about a little bit about Anthony Averett, though, it seems like early in games, teams like to pick on him to get their quarterback in a rhythm, and I feel like that's exactly what the Bengals and Joe Burrow did yesterday. You could see, like, as soon as the ball was snapped, he's automatically looking at Averett's side of the field, working on him, because you see what Averett does, how he lines up. He kind of lines up like how Marcus Peters does. He gives you a lot of cushion, never really presses. Man coverage, things like that. And, guys are very, very aware of that. So the underneath routes are there all day. They're there all day.
That's what coaching is for. That's what the coaching is for, to like fix that. It happened against the Colts and there was no adjustments made. That's my problem. Like, if you see he's getting picked on, why don't you fix it?
Right. So needless to say, they went after Anthony Averett until they said, you know what, we're going to start going after Marlon Humphrey now. And that was when Jamar Chase had gotten warmed up. And just talking about Marlon Humphrey a little bit more, I heard a very fair criticism of Marlon Humphrey yesterday after the game. I was in one of the Ravens Twitter spaces that we do. And they were saying that, like, Marlon Humphrey is basically, he's a better corner against, like, bigger body, more physical receivers, guys that he can really get his hands on because he's a strong guy, but against, like, shiftier, quicker, more skill route running technician type receivers, he really does struggle. It seems like he just can't keep up with him. And that was the case all day yesterday with Jamar Chase. Like, you listen to people say, like, the football is a young man's game. Jamar Chase looked like a young man. Marlon Humphrey looked like a very old man trying to guard him yesterday. You could see, like, just the left and right, just the cuts. Like, Marlon Humphrey was having a very, very hard time predicting and reacting to what he was doing. And Jamar Chase was just getting loose all over the field. So my question to you guys is this, like, going into the later parts of the season, and, we're going to have to play more teams that have, skill type receivers, like even the next time we play, not Jamar Chase, but Justin Jefferson. We're going to have Marlon Humphrey on Justin Jefferson. Is it going to be the same type of deal? Because Justin Jefferson is kind of a similar type receiver, to me at least, to Jamar Chase. So I don't know. How are you guys feeling about Marlon Humphrey in specific matchups? Do you think he's better in one place than the other, or what? You think he just got burned yesterday?
I would say he more so got burned. I would have to agree with that statement that he struggles with more shiftier receivers. I think the biggest piece of evidence, if you need something this season, we got in back-to-back weeks. This game here, he struggled to even be able to keep up with Jamar Chase. But let's not forget, last week, he locked up Mike Williams. So you got a big physical receiver there. He's able to handle him. But a shiftier receiver, he struggled. Not to mention anything downfield. One thing I've noticed, even since his rookie year, he kind of has some trouble locating the deep ball. When he's downfield, locating the ball downfield, he has some trouble with that. which is why we see at times he kind of gets burnt for those touchdowns plenty of times when somebody targets him and they've got to step on him. He has trouble locating the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's probably why it was on Tyreek Hill then. I mean, shift your receivers. That's why you're doubling him. And then even Mike Williams wasn't even 100% last week. I mean, good for him, but that's why I don't want to count that. But even the game against the Titans last year, A.J. Brown bullied him. Like, that's physical right there.
That's true.
I don't know what it is with him. He's definitely regressed. I mean, and like the turnovers aren't even there to make up for it.
Right.
That's a problem too. Like, you're gonna pay a lot of money and no turnovers. I mean, where's the fumbles went? Like the fruit punch. We haven't seen
that. Is true.
Almost a year.
Yeah, because you think about it, like him getting all those turnovers, especially earlier in the season, last year, and then what he did in 2019 as well. That's what really got him that big payday. I don't think it was just consistently locking down whatever guy he was covering. I think it was just that big play potential. Like, he won us the game in Seattle that year. He won us the game, New England. You know what I mean? Like, he had multiple moments like that really put him into position to get the contract that he got. And of course, I think he deserves all his money because he made those plays. What's done is done. And we, like I said, we won those games because of him in part. But like you said, Alex, now he really has. We've seen a little bit of a regression, and you can definitely. It was put on Front Street yesterday. You can't let a rookie receiver come into town and get 200 yards receiving on you, and you're a top 5 corner, arguably top 3. You can't. That can't happen.
Yeah,
that can't happen. So
yeah, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, let me see what else you guys are saying here in the chat about that, because I saw you guys going off. Our guy King says, Marlo is not a technician whatsoever. He wins with physicality. Yeah, that's what we're saying. And another thing too, I'd like to see Marlon Humphrey, Anthony Averett. I'd like to see them jam some of these receivers up front a little bit more. Like, you get 5 yards to put your hands on a receiver. Why are you not using that? Especially if you're a physical cornerback. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? It comes down to coaching, I feel like. Yeah, and I don't know the most about football in the world. And I'm sure the guys at the Ravens coaching staff, know a lot more than me. But it just seems like if your guys are getting beat off of these like initial like just agility moves, like right off the line, like just quickness, like Marlon Humphrey obviously can't keep up. Let him know, hey, look, put a hand on him. And if you need help over the top, that's cool. We'll have Deshaun Elliott over the top shading to that side of the field. We'll have Chuck Clark giving you hope, that sort of thing. But it just seems like we don't really get any of that. And to Alex's point, comes down to coaching. So, and we're talking a lot about defense right now. So at this point, I guess we have to have what they call like a state of the defense address. You know what I mean? Like, what needs to happen? And I guess this is like the perfect transition to our burning questions segment. This is a segment where, you as a viewer can let us know any of your burning questions that you have, your most important questions that you have about the Baltimore Ravens following this week's game or this week's loss. Like, what are your main concerns? What are your main questions? And this one was actually coming from our guest, Keeping It Real. I want you to actually, introduce this question, but it was about the defense, right?
Yeah, it was about the defense. So the main concern we've been dealing with so far this season when it came to the defense was tackling. So the question I overall post is, with the state of the defense right now, how bad is this defense right now? And what can we do to fix it, to prepare ourselves for the second half? Because tackling has been the biggest issue. What can the Ravens do to solve that? Because we're already, 7 weeks in, and this is still an issue.
Yeah. Hey, man, I think that, and this is a very, very good question. Like you said, we're 7 weeks in. 7 weeks into a football season. It's not about teaching you how to tackle. It's about, do you want to tackle? You know what I mean? Because like, we're in the thick of it at this point. This is not week 2, week 3, week 4. We've had games to get our sea legs underneath this, and we still have this issue. So with that being said, I think that what needs to be done in order to fix this tackling is a couple things. One, we need to get our asses handed to us like we did yesterday. That was a wake-up call, because the tackling's been a problem over the past couple of weeks. We just got done winning 5 games in a row, and tackling was a big issue for 3 of those games, arguably 4. So we were winning despite having those issues. Those issues like tackling and stuff like that, they're very suppressed when you're winning. But when you're losing, when you get slapped in the face like we did, then you really have to wake up. And that's why the title of this video is The Ravens Got a Reality Check, because they got a reality check. You can't just not tackle and, just hope that we can pull out magic at the end. The magic ran out yesterday. The luck ran out, So now, like I said, that's one thing we need to get our asses handed to us. We did. The second thing is we need to go into our bye week and regroup, which we will be able to because we don't have a game this week. And then we're just going to have to come back stronger than ever. We come back against the Vikings at home again. It's the perfect opportunity to redeem ourselves. Lamar has never lost to an NFC team. It's the perfect time. Perfect time to redeem ourselves. And I'm knocking on wood on that one.
October.
Knocking on wood, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be my response to your question, keeping it real. But what do you think, Alex? What needs to be done?
I mean, all right, let me start with a positive, all right?
Sure.
Nobody's talking about Patrick Queen. He's slowly been getting like a lot better. Like, I don't know if you guys
Yes.
saw the play. Like, he blew up Joe Mixon.
Oh, yeah,
Joe
definitely.
Mixon he's not a small back. Like, we're starting to like some players are getting it. It's like when one player does good, other player just does shit. All right. There's gonna be a lot of cursing this episode. I just can tell. But I like I said, I really think it's coaching. Like, you got drafted in the NFL, you played in college, you played in high school, you played in Pee Wee, you could tackle. What the fuck happened in the NFL where you can't tackle? Like, Marlon Humphrey is literally riding guys like a fucking horse in the end zone. Are we scared? Are you scared to get hit? Like, there's a reason why you make all this money. Hit the motherfucker. Like, I don't get why we can't tackle. Like,
yeah.
And I'm just like, it literally comes down to coaching because I don't think we don't criticize coaching enough. I'm not talking about Harbaugh. I'm just talking about just defensive coaches. We lost all these defensive coaches in the offseason, and we expected them to just get new coaches. That obviously didn't work. There's a reason why we lost them. These new coaches are just not it. I'm just going to say coaching for your answer. Like, just because you can't get any, like, you have all these players. Why is it all the players? It's not just one or two. It's like all of them.
Right.
I definitely feel you on that for the most part when it comes to coaching. We definitely talk about Wink Martindale and his play calling, which definitely needs to improve. And I'll get back to him for a second. But in terms of the tackling situation, thought we brought a guy in that should help out with this. What has Rob Ryan been doing? What has he been doing?
Drills. They're different drills. I've seen nothing.
Like, what has he actually done to help with the tackling issue?
He's failing another defense like he did with the Browns, like he did with the Cowboys, like he did with the Saints.
It's the same old thing with Rob Ryan, man. That has to be the main focus. Coaching as a whole has to improve. But in terms of the tackling, I'm looking directly at Rob Ryan and saying, what are you doing to improve this? And that is something they got to look at in the bye week. As for Wink Martindale, at some point, man, you got to stop blitzing. The way you're blitzing, at the rate you're blitzing, you got to stop it. Coming into this game, we knew Joe Burrow this season was one of the best quarterbacks against the blitz. He handled it wonderfully this season.
Oh, yeah.
I get it. He's not Patrick Mahomes. So you kind of looked at him and say he's a younger player. Patrick proved that he can beat our blitz. So we want to see Joe Burrow prove he can beat our blitz. But sometimes it can't be an ego thing. If somebody's doing so well against the blitz, you got to make adjustments. And we did not make those adjustments. We kept sending pressure despite the fact that he was standing in the pocket and delivering passes or even dodging our pressure. And we didn't really change it up to a point. Like Wink Martindale himself, he's got to take a lot of this blame here for the play calling because you can't be blitzing this much. If somebody's doing well against something else, switch it up. You got to make some changes, make some adjustments. And that's been the main talk about this coaching staff for quite some time. Making adjustments, and it's something they struggle to do.
Right. And like making adjustments is something that, it becomes even more important in the postseason because in the postseason, it's not like, basketball or like baseball where you have like a series or something like that. It's one game. It's like if you lose, you're done. Your season's over. So over the course of 4 quarters, if you see something is not working, you need to have contingency planning in order to fix that. It's just, we've seen it time and time again, year in and year out. This coaching staff, they fail to make adjustments whenever they actually need to. And it's not every game. We saw, like, for example, against the Colts, right? We're losing. We're down. What do? We need to hurry up the offense. We'll get to the offense in a second too, because we talked a lot about the defense. But and I actually saw a comment in here that says something about the offense. Somebody said something. They said Christina Williams. Thank you so much, Christina, for joining the show. Says, I feel like the defense plays way better when the offense gets going early. And that's another thing that we talked about on previous episodes of the show. Like this offense, in order for the Ravens to be good, this offense has to get going like early and often. We cannot afford to have 2 or 3 drives without scoring before we start actually picking things up, because that's when we start to get out of our game plan and teams start to actually gain confidence against us. And that's what we don't want. That's what we don't want. But let's talk a little bit about the offense. What were you guys' overall thoughts on the offense in this game?
It shouldn't take like a quarter to have a completed pass to a wide receiver like we did yesterday. We have talent at the wide receiver, like for the first time in years. I'm not going to say we don't. Why are we not getting it to them? We have receiver 1 and 2, however you may want to put them at, that can catch the ball, that can get open, and it showed it. Like, our tight ends are good too, but why are we not throwing to the receivers?
Yeah.
Because the running game obviously wasn't working, and we kept trying to stick to it. I'm sorry. Le'Veon Bell is slow as molasses.
Oh my goodness. You guys saw that one play where he lost like what, 5-6 yards?
Oh, that was
He's running laterally with Logan Wilson. I was like, what are you doing? Like,
this little running back by committee thing is not it. And like, I have to agree, your point, keeping real. Like, Latavius Murray is our best running back.
Yeah.
Best catching back is Devonta Freeman. We know that. But running back wise, I don't know what's going on. I'm at the point, bro. Call him Nate McCrary, because he can at least give us something. He's He's fighting for something. He's undrafted. These other guys, just what are they fighting for at this point?
Not really. Offensively, if there was anything to be proud of, it would be the receiving core, because they showed up and did what they needed to do for the most part.
Caught what they had to. They caught him.
They had to, man. Yeah, they didn't. They really had a really good game for the most part. I definitely liked what I saw from Bateman. What was it? 3 catches for 80 yards, and all those catches were picking up first down. So Bateman already has chemistry with Lamar Jackson. He is going to be a factor in this offense. Hollywood Brown redeeming himself. He made a beautiful catch in the end zone for that touchdown. He also had a great game. Mark Andrews still being Mark Andrews, making some tough catches. And we even got Josh Oliver involved. So as a whole, our receiving core showed up to play this game. However, when you look as a whole, it would be the offensive line and the running backs that really didn't do much. And when it comes to the running game, again, Latavius Murray, like you said simply, Latavius Murray is our best back. And I wouldn't mind getting McCrary here, because like he's fighting for something. He could definitely make an impact. Le'Veon's already proven we know what he is at this point, and he's not the same. Same for Devonta Freeman. McCrary is going to fight for something. And if Tyson Williams is not going to come out here to fight, McCrary can take that spot, because we need somebody that's going to fight out here, because we need people that want to play no matter what the score is, no matter what the situation is. So in terms of running game, we're kind of where we are with it. It was pretty much non-existent. Lamar was the running game yesterday. He was the running game. And that is something I don't want to see moving forward. I don't want Lamar to always be the running game, because we were seeing him stay in the pocket more and more as the seasons go on. He's looking to throw. He shouldn't be having to worry about carrying the run game while also trying to get his receivers involved. At some point, I need the running game to do something. But what we have here, it is what it is. We know Latavius is the guy, but after that, you just manage with what you got to work with. And the offensive line, injuries, that's really what it comes down to. Injuries and just bad execution for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely right there. And Isaac H. has a burning question here. It says, will we trade for an offensive tackle or a DB? As we know, the trade deadline is quickly approaching, November 4th, I think it is. And so, if you were EDC, would you trade for an offensive tackle or a defensive back first?
Offensive tackle. I'm sorry.
Offensive tackle.
We have Chris Westry coming back. I mean, there's more like, if the offensive line is good, that means the offense thing will be on the field more. We'll be running the ball. It means defense will be off the field less. But my only problem is there's nobody to trade for offensive tackle wise. There's maybe the XFL was still going on, the AAF, but there's like nobody out there. And then we pick up somebody and he stepped away for his own reasons, but we just can't catch a break. Let's just be honest. Like, we're trying to get people and we're just getting dogged.
Yeah, it's definitely been rough. And I agree with you. I definitely think that we would take offensive tackle before DB, because, hey, look, help is on the way. As bad as things may seem right now, with how many injuries we have do have some guys that are coming back, and we'll get to those guys in just a second here. But offensive tackle, that is one position that is of dire need right now, like more than almost anything, because at this point, our best offensive tackle is Alejandro Villanueva. That's our
Oh,
best offensive tackle, and that's not good.
but yeah, I'll definitely see a hit on that. We do need to pick up an offensive tackle. In terms of help is on the way. Again, I do not know his timetable. We talked about him possibly coming back, but Jawan James is still a player that could potentially come back. And if he can come back, he can help this offensive line. But I just don't know about him, though.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so let's see. Moving on here, we got a guy Gerald in the house. Says, "What up, PRP?
Yo,
What's up, Gerald? Thank you for joining the stream,
Good.
man. We appreciate you for coming through." All right, so just talking a little bit more. I wanted to talk a little bit about the guys that are going to be coming back soon here off of injury. We got Chris Westry coming back. We've got Derek Wolfe coming back. We've got are there any other names I'm missing? Who else we got? Watkins, Murray. Dalen Hayes. I'm not sure
I'm not sure what's going. I think Ben Cleveland.
Cleveland should be back.
I'm not sure when, but he's guard.
Don't forget Boyle. It's going to take some time,
Yeah,
but
Boyle.
eventually he will be back. And that will help with the blocking because we know what he can bring to the table.
Right. Our guy Hoodie Ramey, shout out to him, says Nick Boyle is going to help with pass protection so much. I cannot wait. Yeah, man. Nick Boyle is huge. He's definitely huge for our pass protection, just blocking in general. Like what he does for our team is definitely very important to us, and we can't wait to have him back on the field. We do have another super chat donation. This one's coming from Savix. Thank you so much, Savix. We appreciate you for making it rain here on episode 81 of the Purple Rain podcast. As Tyson Williams being confused at the end of the game genuinely made me cringe. I want him to succeed, but stuff like that isn't helping. Was he confused? Was he confused, or did he just give up?
I don't know.
I don't know what it was.
Kind of
What
just
do you think it was?
walked out of
Third
bounds.
down? What do you think it was? Third down?
But at that time, like, why aren't you fighting for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, third, fourth down, it shouldn't matter. You should still be fighting for extra yards. You know the situation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see. Ramey also says Derek Wolfe needs to get back ASAP. We need an interior D lineman who can pressure. Yeah, man. It seems like we haven't really been getting the best play from interior D line. What's his name? Brandon Williams. I don't know. I feel like this may be his last season. This is last season.
It is.
With the Ravens for sure.
It's his last year. You can just say it is.
So getting a guy like Derek Wolfe back will definitely be huge, especially in shutting down the run. But then also getting that interior pressure as well. I mean, interior pressure is huge. It's huge for a defense because, if you can get the quarterback's eyes low at the beginning of a play, so he's not looking downfield, but instead he's worrying about what defenders are going to be in his lap soon. That's very important, man. That kills a quarterback. It kills a quarterback. So I definitely think that getting Derek Wolfe back will be huge, especially since we haven't had him all season long. That'll be a big boost for us. Like we said, Nick Boyle as well. Chris Westry and the defensive backs. That should definitely give us a little bit of relief. What are you guys thinking about? What do you guys think about Tavon Young right now?
I think he's been one of the bright spots in this defense for me.
Yeah, he's been positive.
Okay.
I mean, he's showing up like he knows if he was hurt this year, he wasn't coming back. At this point, I'd take him back on a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
He plays like a Raven.
Yeah, he's been getting better as the weeks continue. So he's actually been one of the guys that's been showing up and making plays. So got to give him his credit.
Along with Chuck Clark, too.
Chuck Clark as well.
Let's see. Kyle comes in with another burning question. Says, "Hey Sutton, is it Greg Roman's time to go with the same play calls?" I saw a lot of people on Twitter talking about why don't the Ravens draw up some screens and stuff like that, little easy plays, which I feel like is a valid question. What do you guys think about that? Greg Roman, similar play calls and what we do and don't do on the field on offense.
I want to say creative. I don't want to sound like I'm just because I see other teams do it, but I see what the Falcons did with Cordell Patterson. Why couldn't we just line up Duvernay in the backfield and just run a screen, just confuse teams? If we can't get anything else going, start confusing teams at this point. Even if we don't even give him the ball, we can't get anything going, confuse teams. I mean, line them up in the backfield, do a fake screen or something. I don't know. We're getting to the point where we're just struggling because the running game is not working. So we're gonna have to pass it a whole lot.
Yeah. I just need creativity. That's my main issue with Greg Roman is just creativity in the offense. In terms of this season, for the most part, the play calling, there have been times where he's been great and there are times he's been bad. It's my main issue is creativity. There have been times where he's needed to stick with the run, and he did, like with the Chiefs. And there are times where you got to switch it up. And he did do some of that against the Colts. So he's been doing well in the play calling. My issue is with the lack of creativity and not really helping out your offensive line. When you see your offensive line dealing with these many injuries, you got to start confusing teams. Take the pressure off the O-line and come up with some creative plays that gets the ball in your receivers' hands early on and let them go out there and make some plays. I thought we had speed with our receivers. Why aren't we utilizing that speed?
No, I mean, I definitely agree there. Definitely agree there, man.
Or even adjustments. Line up Eric Tomlinson in the backfield as an extra blocker.
That could also work.
He doesn't catch the ball. He can block. Use him what he's good for.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's see. Spooky J, another burning question here, says, should Wink be fired for his carelessness with the blitz?
He won't be fired. I mean,
he's not going to be fired.
It's not going to happen.
Well, I mean, put it this way, guys. Do you think that the fact that Wink blitzes so much, do you think that goes to show the lack of faith he has in his secondary, or how much faith he actually does have in his secondary? You know what I mean? Because if you have to get so much pressure after the quarterback, that means you don't really trust your guys to drop back, in coverage and just kind of sit back there and wait it out. So what do you guys think about that?
He's been doing it for years, though. I mean, in 2018 year, we had the number one defense, I'm pretty sure, and we had a good pass rush. We had Judon and we had Darius Smith. He was still sending Eric Weddle every damn play, it felt like.
Yeah, he just likes the blitz.
That's just DNA. Somebody's just snatched that chain from him to stop him, bro. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
That's just a specialty, man.
Yeah, I mean, but think about it, though. Think about it like this. We really don't have, like, the secondary to... It just really doesn't seem like we have the secondary to really stop a lot of these teams right now, man. So it kind of feels like sometimes we do have to send a blitz because we've always known that we can't really get pressure with 4 or 5 guys. So it's like that's probably why he's doing it. But then again, I think that you kind of have to rely on guys like Justin Houston and Odafe Owe and interior Justin Madubuike, those guys, to get pressure, even when we are only rushing 4 or 5, because that is the key to winning football games. If you can use less men for one specific job and then allocate those men to different jobs on the field, I mean, that's going to bode better for our defense. So that's just what I think. That's what I think. I don't think he should be fired for the carelessness with the blitz, but somebody definitely needs to be in his ear telling him, "Hey, listen, man, we can't be doing this all the time because we will get
He's got to tone it down,
burn multiple times."
Yeah. Like the head coach or something, maybe.
Click One in the house says, "What's good, Rain Gang? What's up, Click One? Thank you for joining the stream tonight. Appreciate you for coming through." Let's see. Raven Ron says, "Why did we not go with the Chiefs game plan and double Jamar Chase like we did Tyreek Hill?" I don't think we have that much respect for him. We didn't have that much respect for Jamar Chase coming into this. Yeah, we know, but going into this game, it was like, Jamar Chase, yes, he's having a good rookie season, but hey, he's still a rookie. We're the Ravens. We came into this game on our high horse. Like Alex said earlier in the episode, we didn't think we'd have any problems with the Bengals. No. So we were like, we're going to do one-on-one with Marlon Humphrey on Jamar Chase, and that's what we pay Marlo for, right? Then he goes out there and has over 200 yards and a touchdown. So yeah, I don't know. Right.
This is what the Ravens do, man. Sometimes with them, it's a bit of an ego trip sometimes with us, which, it happens with all teams. But until you prove you can ball out on them, they're not going to respect you. Tyreek Hill has burnt us several times, so we know to put an emphasis on him. Same for A.J. Green when he was here. So Jamar Chase, you got to prove yourself. They tested him, and he passed with flying colors.
Yeah, he definitely did. And now we know not to not give as much attention to Jamar Chase. But let's see. Savic says he has a question here. Says, do you guys think going into the draft next year we should pick up another tight end in like the 2nd or 3rd round? Getting rid of Hayden Hurst was a pretty big mistake.
We still haven't seen Andrews, Boyle, or Oliver together, so I don't think so.
Yeah, I think definitely wait until Boyle gets back. When Boyle gets back, a lot of different things I feel like will open up in this offense, and we'll start to see a huge improvement.
We'll see what happens in the second half.
Right, and then hopefully when Makari comes back in a couple weeks, he can go back to being that anchor on the right side of the line because, oh my goodness, man, he was playing so well up to this point where he got hurt, and then like Keeping It Real said, that offensive line just kind of went down the drain. But yeah. Let's see. We'll take a couple more burning questions here. Then we're going to talk about some other games from around the league. Then we'll get out of you guys here before Monday Night Football starts. Let's see. Love West says, "Do you really feel like we were ready?"
And other people got injured. Like it's not normal.
Yeah.
But this team now, I mean, I think it could win a playoff game. Lamar would just
A
have
playoff
to.
game.
Lamar would have to. Yeah, he would have to do everything that he does. You know, he had to put the team on his back like he always does when we win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can see that happen.
I just look at it right now because, like, I was talking about this yesterday after the game. I never like to try and talk about a team that's contending for a Super Bowl this early in the season. And I know people, after they looked at us, were 5-1. We had the number 1 seed in the AFC for 1 week. But I look at this team right now, and I wouldn't say they're a Super Bowl contending team. And it's not really their fault. They've been playing well at times. The fact that they're 5-2 is crazy with all the injuries. Like you said, simply, I'm going to be honest. You give me either JK or Gus, Ronnie Stanley and Marcus Peters will be good to go. You give me that, we will be good to go for the most part. But with all the people on IR, yes.
Yeah.
But with all the people on IR, it definitely makes an impact because those are starters that always make an impact on this team. So I think the farthest we can go is we'll definitely win a playoff game. I think Lamar is great enough to carry this team to win a playoff game. And I trust in this defense having one great defensive performance. I don't think they're consistent enough to do so, but if they need to show up, they can have one of those great performances. But for a playoff run, that's what we need to find out in the second half. So a playoff win, maybe 2, but I'll stick with the 1.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get at least 2 playoff wins this season. That would be,
hopefully we can get to the playoffs. Let's
hold
our horses real quick. Let's get in the playoffs.
Hey man, you guys see the thumbnail in the video. Is it time to pump the brakes on the Ravens? I don't think it's time to pump the brakes right now. I think we're in a pretty good spot still. 5-2 going into our bye week.
Yeah.
After the bye week, we'll be getting some guys back. Some guys will be getting healthier, but I think we'll be okay. Obviously, this team definitely. Yeah.
You can keep going. I'll say it afterwards.
No, I was just saying, like, this team. I think we got this loss against the Bengals at the perfect time. Going into the bye week, we can really look ourselves in the mirror as a team and say, hey, we are 5-2 going into this bye week. So coming out of this bye week, we are in a good position in terms of like standing wise. But in terms of, a lot of other things, there's a lot of other things that we need to tighten up and clean up in order to make us just that much better and really put us at the top and solidify us as top contenders in the AFC. So I think this loss is coming at a pretty good time is what I'm saying. But we do have just one more question here. From Kyle Reeves says, what game scares you guys next on the Ravens schedule? So I have the Ravens schedule pulled up here. We have the Vikings up next in M&T Bank Stadium. Then we have the Dolphins on a short week, actually. Then we have the Bears. Then we have the Browns and Steelers, and then Browns again. So those are our next 6 games there. And I'll just start. I think the game that kind of scares me the most is going to be that Steelers game on December 5th. And the reason I say that and not the Browns game that's right before that, because I feel like the Ravens can get victories against the Vikings, the Dolphins, and the Bears. Mm-hmm. I feel like they can handle those 3 teams, hopefully. But by the time the Browns game rolls around, this going to be another tough divisional opponent. I don't think that we can afford to lose that game because I think that it's going to be so physical. Going into that Steelers game, I don't know how much left the Ravens will have because, the Ravens versus Steelers game is going to be just as physical as the Ravens versus Browns game. So I feel like we might run out of gas a little bit going into that Steelers game. And if that's the case and we drop that game, especially say we drop the game before that to the Browns in a close one, that's 2 games in a row lost right there. And all of a sudden, the Ravens are not in the same contention in the AFC as they were before, just losing 2 back-to-back AFC matchups. So out of those 6 games, the Vikings, the Dolphins, the Bears, the Browns twice, and the Steelers, which game do you guys think is the scariest game on the schedule?
The next one. Like, that offense is high-flying. They got Daniil Hunter on the line. The next one against the Vikings, that's scary because you lose back-to-back home games, not looking too hot whatsoever. So I'm going to go with the Vikings game. That's scary. And Dalvin Cook, too. If we can't tackle, if we can't get that together, boy, oh boy.
You're right.
I would probably say for me, I like the Steelers pick there, But I'm going to go with the second matchup for the Browns, the one on December 12th, because by then they're going to be healthy for the most part. Or at least we suspect they're going to be healthy. And with what they have to offer with Chubb and Kareem Hunt, well, depending on Chubb's situation, if he will be able to be back. But like what they have, the talent they have on that team, that's tough. In December, that is tough. I mean, of those 6 games, that's definitely the one I'll say is the scariest. But I find a game even scarier that's after that one.
The game even, yeah.
Yeah, you guys know
the Rams too.
The Rams. That's what I'm. The Rams, man. I don't. With the way Matthew Stafford's playing and with the way our defense is playing, I don't even want to think about that one. If this defense doesn't get it together, Matthew Stafford is going to carve this defense. And Deshaun Jackson, he's a burner, man. Oh my God, Deshaun Jackson, Cooper Kupp. I don't even want to think about
Robert Woods, Van Jefferson, Tyler Higbee.
Oh my God. That right now is a nightmare to think about. So hopefully this defense gets it together by then. But of the next 6 games, I would say Cleveland. But overall, for the rest of our schedule, the Rams are terrifying.
Packers too for me.
Oh yeah,
Aaron Rodgers is playing with MVP again.
And who's going to stop Devontae Adams?
I don't know, man.
Oh boy, Marlon against Devontae. That should be fun. That'll be fun.
For me, it's just all the divisional matchups, man. It's like all of them, literally every last one. We saw yesterday what happens when you're a team that is playing so well. We saw what happens when you go into a divisional matchup, a team that knows you very, very well, and you know, 1 or 2 drives goes wrong, and the next thing you know, the game is out of your hands. You know, it's out of hand. So we've seen that happen with the Ravens a couple times against divisional opponents. We saw it yesterday. So that's what scares me the most, man. Just going into these games, especially in the later weeks of the season against these tough opponents that just know us very well. That's probably the scariest thing to me. I don't think the Packers. I think the Packers we can definitely squeeze out a victory there, M&T Bank Stadium at home. I think we can beat the Packers, guys. I really do. Now the Rams, I think that might be a little bit of a different story. I feel like they may have one too many plays drawn up on offense for us to stop that day. And as long as they can come up with
Aaron Donald against our line.
Oh God,
yeah,
we don't have Yonda anymore. Yonda's gone.
Exactly. And if there's pressure on Lamar Jackson all game, then hey, I don't know what to tell you.
I do like our receivers against our secondary, though. I do like a fully healthy receiving core against the Rams secondary. I like that a lot.
That's a great matchup
that way. Yeah, I like our guys against their guys for that.
Let's see. We do have a super chat donation coming in from Jabari Cruz Ellis. Thank you so much, Jabari, not only for joining the show, but for donating to the stream as well. We appreciate you. He says there's no clear-cut favorite in the AFC right now. You guys agree with that?
I agree. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Bills,
too.
Titans, Bengals, and then like everybody else.
Because all the real like top dogs in the AFC have lost in the last 2 weeks. You know, the Bills lost last week. We just lost. The Chargers lost last week. The Chiefs have been losing. So yeah, there's really no clear cut favorite in the AFC. That's a good call, Jabari. But I think that will actually lead us into our Around the League segment, where we just basically talk about some other games, other teams around the NFL. One that I wanted to just, bring up was actually the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs, they are 3-4 currently after just making the last 2 Super Bowls. So 7 weeks in, the Chiefs are looking worse than they have looked in recent years. Mahomes is leading the league in interceptions, I believe, and just those turnovers are really killing them right now. So what are you guys' overall thoughts on the Chiefs? Do you think that they bounce back and have like a comeback season and still, end up making like a deep playoff run and whatnot? Or you think this is just not their year? They're having a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover.
They still have a top 3 coach, a top quarterback, a top receiver, top tight end. I don't know what it is, going through a hard time, but I wouldn't want to play them. I mean, I would not want the Ravens to play them anytime soon because you just don't know with them. I mean, I wasn't seeing that coming. I know we both picked the Titans to beat the Chiefs, but not like that. We were not expecting that.
Definitely not.
I think they'll come back. They're probably I'll say the Chargers win the division or the Raiders, but they'll be a wild card team and they'll win a game in the playoffs. I can see that happening.
That game was surprising. I wasn't surprised to see the Titans beat the Chiefs because Derrick Henry is a monster, and the Chiefs have arguably the worst run defense in the league. And, I told Chiefs fans early on, they didn't want to listen to me. I told y'all early on that defense, it needs to be fixed. They kept thinking it was like previous years, but this defense looks worse than their 2018 defense. And then you got the offense. They're turning the ball over left and right. Like Mahomes he's throwing a pick in his last 6 games. That's not a good thing. He's turning the ball over every week. And it isn't even just him. It's just the offense as a whole turning the ball over multiple times. There are a lot of concerns here in terms of this team, but like you said, simply, man, you got Patrick Mahomes, you got Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. They've got players here. You know what they can do. I think at this stage, with the way the Chargers have been playing and even the Raiders, I do not believe they can win the division, but they can definitely get a wild card spot.
Yeah. Rami has a question here. It says, my question is, do you guys think the Chiefs give Orlando Brown a big deal considering they gave up a first rounder for him, considering his struggles? So you guys know Orlando Brown is due for a payday of his own soon. Do you think that the Chiefs pay him even though that he's been struggling, because they give up that capital for him?
Not a big deal. I doubt it. A deal, yes. A big deal. I think he's already given up the most pressures, I think, in his career.
It's been the most already in a shorter span.
Yeah. I mean,
so you think that he's gonna have to eat a nice big slice of humble pie and just kind of take it from the Chiefs organization and say, hey, you want to be a left tackle, you are a left tackle, but here, go play left tackle for this amount of money and not the amount of money that you thought that you might have been making, because hey, we gave up a first round pick for you and you're struggling. So I think that they give him, like you said, Alex, they give him a deal, but not a big deal.
They'll give him a deal. I'm not really surprised to see him struggling. Again, it depends on the type of offense you're on. This guy was playing with the Ravens offense, which was a dominant running team. You're going to Kansas City where you're used to just blocking for the run. Now you're in Kansas City, which is a predominantly dominant passing team, and now you got a pass block. He wasn't doing much of that in Baltimore, so now he has to get used to it, and he hasn't done well. So if this keeps up, he's going to have to take a different deal, man. He's got to work something out.
Yeah. And no more Lamar Jackson to make you look better on film, because he's scrambling around, running around, and making the whole offensive line look pretty good at sometimes. But hey, I think it'll definitely be a deal, but it'll be a bargain for sure for Orlando Brown.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. What other teams around the league kind of raised your eyebrows yesterday? One other for me, actually, I just want to bring this up just real quick. One other for me was the Dolphins. I know they lost to the Falcons by 2 or 3 points off a game-winning field goal, but Tua went out there and threw 4 touchdowns? I know he had 2 picks, but 4 touchdowns, almost 300 yards passing. What are we thinking about Tua, especially in the recent news that the Dolphins might be trading for Deshaun Watson? What do you think about Tua and the Dolphins?
We play him in 2 weeks?
Yeah, we'll see him.
It'll be a good bounce back game. I mean, you don't want to see him gain confidence before he's about to play us.
Yeah, I mean, Tua's been my guy. I've been a supporter of Tua when he's healthy. The problem is he hasn't really been healthy, and you can't really get any consistency from a young quarterback or develop him if he can't stay on the field to play. But Tua has talent to do something here. In terms of us facing off against him, that would be a great game for us to kind of bounce back. You don't want to let that guy go off. But in terms of what he did, that was a crazy game. I'll give him credit. I did not see that from Tua, but last couple of games, he's been playing well. The team as a whole hasn't played well, but he has been playing well individually.
So we would say that definitely Tua. Well, let's do this. Let's rank the quarterbacks in the AFC East. So obviously, I think we put Josh Allen number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2, are we going Mac Jones?
You know what?
This year, yes.
Yeah.
I would. Right now, yeah.
Especially after what happened against the Jets. My God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're going Josh Allen, Mac Jones, and then we're going Tua, then Zach Wilson. Or are we flipping that?
Nah, Zach Wilson got to be at the bottom.
Tua, then Zach Wilson. Yeah, Zach Wilson. Yeah. He's been playing like ass for real. He did get knocked out of yesterday's game too with an injury, didn't he?
Yeah.
Wasn't an ankle or something like that?
He's going to be out for 2 weeks.
Leg injury. Yeah. Hopefully he gets better, but he was he's up there in interceptions right now. So I don't know if Zach Wilson is gonna be this bust. I mean, going into the season, we all heard about Zach Wilson as he could be the next Mahomes. This kid coming out of BYU, you see him in the open drills, the mini camps, the training camps and whatnot, just rolling out to his left and throwing deep balls across his body, and everybody's like, oh, Zach Wilson. But now we're really not seeing that same thing that's translating onto the field. So with that being said, do you guys think that it's more of a Zach Wilson problem, or do you think it's more of just a Jets problem?
It's rookie quarterback, rookie coach. It's too early to tell for me.
It's growing
the
pains.
The Jets, they just traded for Flacco. So, I know Zach Wilson went down with an injury. I don't know who their backup is before Flacco came in. But do you think that's saying that, hey, we could possibly go in a different direction than Zach Wilson, even when he does come back? If he struggles a little bit too much, hey, Joe Flacco, get in there, finish the season.
Second overall pick.
Yeah. This stage of his career, we already know Flacco is at this stage of his career. You just drafted this guy. He's a rookie. We understand the Jets. They're dealing with their issues. I just see this season as growing pains for the Jets. Give them more time. If we're seeing the same thing next season, yeah, you want some concerns. But I don't think they're going to go in a new direction a season after deciding, you know what, let's draft this kid, get rid of Sam Darnold. I think it'll be too early to do that.
Yeah. Speaking of Sam Darnold got benched yesterday for PJ Walker.
Not looking too good for him.
Yeah. Darnold, he started off the season fine, and then now he's just looking like the same way he looked from the Jets. So it might have been both problems. He may have been an issue, and the Jets as a whole may have been an issue.
Yeah. Agree there. Bringing up that Jets thing again. Let's see. Beats by Yuli says definitely more of the Jets problem. Wilson's a rookie on arguably the worst franchise in the league. We agree there.
Yeah.
Jabbar Cruz Ellis says, is he starting to see ghosts again? Sam Darnold, that is.
Might be.
Maybe. I don't know. No McCaffrey there. It's like no safety net. I don't know.
Oh, that's been a big thing for Carolina. I think when McCaffrey went down, everyone got to clearly see that this offense is dictated by McCaffrey. They can't do anything without him.
Right.
And they have solid receivers too.
And that's the sad part too. But for some reason, the offense is just dictated behind McCaffrey, and Sam Darnold can't hit his receivers. Despite having talent in the receiving core, he's just not doing a good job there.
Let's see. Hi Hater says, y'all are goats. Thank you so much, Hi Haters. We appreciate
it.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap this one up, guys. I just want to ask you guys, I want to end it on this. Today is Monday Night Football. Tonight, Saints are taking on the Seahawks. I'm not sure who's at home for tonight's game. But Saints are at home. Okay, cool. In New Orleans, at the Superdome. Saints and Seahawks. Who do you guys got?
Saints. I do not trust the Seahawks without Russell Wilson.
Saints, unfortunately.
Saints all day.
It's not. Hey, I'll give Gino, if he can come out here and put up an amazing game and they win, credit to him. But we understand that the Seahawks are nothing right now without Russell Wilson. So I just don't see what Gino's going to do. So, yeah.
The Rain Gang says the game is in Seattle. The game's actually in Seattle tonight.
That might make it work.
I don't know. I think Seattle, they showed me last week against the Steelers that even without Russell Wilson, they can still be competitive. I think if they stay competitive in this game, or if they stay competitive long enough in any of their games, I think they can eventually pull one out. I think
the Lions stay competitive against the Rams. They still lost.
Yeah, you can be competitive. Right. Don't mean you're going to win the game. Though absolutely, they will have their opportunities, though. It is Winston.
It'll be close.
It'll be close. You don't know what Winston can do, man. He can go out there, throw for like 350 and 3 tubs, or he can go out there, throw for 275, a touchdown and 3 picks. You just don't know what you're going to get with him.
You just don't know, which is why I'm saying if they can keep it close, I think Seattle, they could pull one of these out. They could pull one of them out, but that's my pick. I got Seattle winning this game. I know it's a hot take pick, but you guys got the Saints. I got Seattle. Let's see. Raven Ron says 6-point spread. Saints will win. Taking the Saints. Kimberly says she's taking the Saints as well. I feel that. I understand. But it is 8:10 now. If you are watching live, that means the Monday Night Football game starts in about 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to go ahead and get out of you guys here. Thank you guys so much for tuning into episode 81 of the Purple Rain podcast. This time featuring our guy, Keeping It Real. Special shout out to him. Thank you so much for coming through, man. We appreciate you. If you guys do not yeah, if you guys do not subscribe to Keeping It Real on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to him because his videos are hilarious. I love the insight he brings and just kind of like the different spin that he brings on just kind of Ravens YouTube and just NFL content in general. I also know he covers other sports too, so be on the lookout for that. Basketball season started back up already. I know he'll be covering that as well and other things. So make sure you guys go and tune into Keeping It Real, his YouTube channel, and follow him on the socials as well. Where can they find you on socials one last time?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, Keeping It Real 721.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for coming through once again. And this has been episode 81 of the Purple Rain Podcast. Before you get out of here, like our mod boss says, like the video. Like the video. And if you're new here, this is your first time, your very, very first time watching the Purple Rain Podcast, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, because we want to see your beautiful faces in here next time as well. To end it all out, Raven Ron says, appreciate it, Purple Rain Podcast. Until next time, episode number 81, the Anquan Bolden episode. Thanks, guys. With that being said, I'm going to let my guy Alex take us out for the night.
Thank you for coming through to episode 81 of the Purple Pain Podcast. And as always, I'm just going to get short and sweet. Stay positive, test negative,
and never, ever forget to call God. This has been episode 81 of PRP. We're going to catch you guys in the next one.